Hey, everybody. Welcome to Everything Philly podcast, your informative and entertainment platform, touching on some hard hitting topics. I'm Sharice.
Little Rob in the building.
Hey, hey.
Before we start the show, we want to give a shout out to Tanya. I see you hitting some hard topics on Instagram, coming at us, and I appreciate it. Keep it coming. Keep motivating us so we can keep motivating the people out there. And congratulations on raising your 4 children. I love it. We need more parents out there like you. Keep it up.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Today, our topic will be
What we got today? What we got today?
pressures of life.
Oh,
Stressful pressures of life.
where
And
did we start?
this kind of come from listening to people resolutions and how life seems so hard. And I want to know why life is hard, or let's put it out there why other people think life is so hard and see if we can make it a little easier, break it down a little better for
Well, one of the life pressures that I think is very hard hitting for people is status,
them. Meaning,
meaning that sometimes your status dictates who you are, where you are, according to some people.
how you create a status.
If you live in a certain neighborhood, then that can kind of determine how much money you make, what kind of job you have. If you have a certain job, then sometimes that can determine your level of education or how intelligent you may or may not be.
Can looks or body shapes determine a status?
Appearance sometimes can give people a sense of status. So if you're well dressed and designer and well kept, then people can assume that you have money. Um,
But can those statuses be your downfall in life?
Absolutely, the status can be a downfall in life, especially if that's not your true status, is not true to who you are.
Okay, so my thing is, okay, let's go on the parents wise. Like people try to create a status by their parents. Like let's take a girl for instance. A girl may rely on her looks, her beauty, her long hair, her big butt, her slim waist to determine that they are the shit in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so women definitely use their bodies. That's why we have a lot of plastic surgery going on. We got a lot of enhancements going on because some women feel like those extra enhancements are another way to get the attraction of a certain status of men. That's also, in my personal opinion, a sign of an insecurity.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know if it's a sign of insecurity because some people they dwell on that. That is their security, but that's my whole point. Like the pressures of life comes from worried about that status in particular. So you're the baddest girl in the neighborhood. You got the nicest body. All the guys is on you. All the drug dealers is on you. All the ballers is on you. But now you become one of many because these same ballers got every girl in every neighborhood with the same body, the same long hair, the same long nails, and you're just one of many. So he treats you just as the next, a part of his pack.
Mhm.
So now that you've been relying on this, and now you get a man, and you find out that he didn't have sex with your cousins, your friends, your neighbors, and everybody else, and you thought that you was enough from your looks and your body because you the hottest chick in the neighborhood. So what happens to you then when you found
Well,
out that you're just one of many and he treats you like trash and moves on to the next?
well, of course, she's gonna feel some kind of way, but again, that means to me she didn't understand her self worth and her value in the beginning. Because if she understood her self worth and how valuable she was, then she wouldn't depend on all those external things to gain the attention of a man who only wants her for those external. That's a red flag right from the door.
It definitely is. And but some people don't look at things that way. Some people look at it the exact opposite. Once you get that body and the hair and the driving the nice cars or whatever the case may be, and you attracted dude, that dude from the neighborhood, you feel as though your status just went all the way up. Now you're her because everybody respects you because you landed the hottest nigga in the neighborhood or whatever case it be. But then when that all comes to an end and you're left looking in the mirror at yourself back in the projects or whatever the case may be, you start blaming yourself. You start looking at what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? Like, how can he turn me down? And you go to the next one, which is the second baller in the neighborhood. And you only doing that because he's in competition with the dude that you was messing with in the first time. And he only want to do it because he want to get back at the dude that's in first place in the neighborhood. So he hit you and he treats you just as bad. So now you got two of the hottest guys in the neighborhood that you done smashed, and they both treating you like you some rag doll, and your confidence is
Well,
definitely
at that point, you are a rag doll.
why?
Sorry, ladies, you are. Because it's one thing. The first time, that's a mistake. You learn from that. Yeah, but you're going back the second time and you're doing this all over again and you're still trying to attract this same type of man. You ain't learned the first time?
Most people don't. Most people don't because now you didn't put yourself in an atmosphere or that status where as though the pressures of life is hitting you. Now it's like, okay, she can't keep a man. Like, what's wrong with her?
That's
Or
not
why
a
she?
status.
It do
Now
become a
you've created a
status.
reputation.
Okay, you're not looking at it that way. Okay, so let me put it like this way. Let's go to some of our most fashionable people that's out there that's been going through guys. And I don't even consider them as going through guys because if I only could name a handful or maybe two handful of guys that you've been with and you're 40, 50 years old, I don't really consider that bad in life for a female. Let's go to the Kardashians, the Jennifer Lopez, the Holly Berrys. Like these are some of the most fashionable people in our time. Like they call Kim a horror because the guys that she slept with. I mean, by hand, I only could name about 10 of them. I don't know how many extra there is after that, but I'm just saying 10. And she's the biggest whore in the world. Is it because of the tape or is it because she always goes after the next man? Which one is it?
I think probably because she always goes after the next man, but I think people hide behind the celebrity status and they hide behind money. I think she's a very insecure woman. She may on the outside understand her self-worth, but she doesn't understand who she is um as a valuable woman because she wouldn't run from one man to the next man to the next man. She's looking for love in all the wrong places. And at some point, you gotta get it.
Okay, what's the right places?
Well, everywhere she's not going. I can't
Everywhere.
speak for her.
So everywhere she's not going is where love is. Okay, now listen, I'm not saying that she's a confident woman or anything like that. I'm just saying, you're being judged because of these, and these become a big pressure in life because you want to be seen as a successful person, and because you're not confident in who you are, you feel as though you need a man because you're so beautiful and your body's so crazy, and you're Kim Kardashian. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with Kim Kardashian that she can't keep a man? These are the things that's going inside of her mind. So when she get out of one relationship, she jumps right into another because she don't want to look that way. I'm only going by what my thoughts are because you're judged by who you with or
Yeah.
what. There's so many things you're being judged by. So when you're so beautiful and you don't have a man in your mind, you think other people are saying, "Well, what's wrong with her?"
Yeah, I think the celebrity status doesn't help at all. I think sometimes the celebrities do the same thing as we as everyday people do, but because they're under
A
so much more
microscope.
of a spotlight than what we are, that what they do is more enhanced. I mean, because we do have everyday women and men like ourselves who probably go through just as many or have been in just as many relationships as Kim Kardashian, but they're not under the spotlight in that type of status like Kim Kardashian is. So it's going to be a little bit more enhanced. It's going to be a little bit more impactful because of who she is.
I mean, definitely, but that's what I'm saying. Let's go. We talked about as an individual that's under that spotlight, who's going through this criticism
Mhm.
because of they just want to be in love, but then at the same time, I guess you could sit here and say what you said. She finding love in all the wrong places because your status is so high that you're put on a pedestal.
Yeah.
So everybody you meet they're looking at you like you're Kim Kardashian? Do they just want to be a piece of you, or is they coming with the best game in the beginning that you're really falling for it, or is that your low self esteem, your self esteem is so low that you're just accepting anything that comes because this guy got just as much potential as I got, far as money or status wise, and y'all be a powerful couple. But then at the end of the day, it just goes back to the girl in the neighborhood with the best drug dealer in the neighborhood, where he has such a flock of them that you're just many of one. So now you a female and you're looking for that status or you're looking for that love or whatever it is you're looking for because you have to seem complete. Okay, I we was talking to someone not too long ago and they was telling us a story about Holly Berry, how, the guy they was at the basketball game and a couple of producers, white producers, was in the basketball game sitting behind them, and they were sitting there bragging about, how they used to get Holly Berry so easy because she wanted to do a script in the show and the movie, and she would do basically anything to get that. And that's a shame that, one of our most beautiful women had to go through this just to become a success. Now, all of a sudden, that's you're being judged by that because you had to do what you had to do to get that. Not that you really had to do it, but at the time you didn't want to be blackballed or you it's just so hard for our people to succeed in life because you're always under the microscope. You're always being judged by every little thing you do. So these are the things that make life so much harder for individuals.
It's definitely a life pressure for sure. And it is very unfortunate that our women have to go through some of what they go through just to get to the top. Um, I've never been in that status, so I can't sit here and say, well, I just wouldn't, or I don't understand the rationale because I haven't been
Well, just say
on that level.
just say for our regular everyday people, like life pressures for them is just as hard because they're living behind their means. They want to have that nice car. They want to live in that nice apartment. They want to wear nice clothes. So, they might be getting a $500 check, but they might got a credit card because they get your credit card when you turned of age so fast because they want to put you in debt, keep you behind. And you go out spending $750 on this credit card and you only make it $500. So now you caught up. Now you out here doing everything you can just to keep up on the bills because you want to keep your credit right. Like that's a pressure. That's pressures of life.
Yeah, but I also think that it goes back to loving who you are, understanding who you are, and not feeling like you have to live by whose means. Like no one is paying your bills for you. I feel like, yeah.
You didn't say nothing. You
Because
said
I got
yeah.
like a million thoughts running through my head right now. Um, but by who means? Who says that you have to live a certain way? I think we get caught up into these guidelines that society places upon us that we forget that, who said that we had to go abide by these rules? Who says that these are the rules of life? This is my life. I don't have to be married with kids and a six-figure job, living in a single family home with a white picket fence with a dog. Who says that I have to live by that criteria? What if I choose not to ever get married? What if I choose not to have kids? Who says that I have to do that?
So
People need to understand who they are, love themselves, and start going like beating to the beat of your own drum, like marching to the beat of your own drum.
is that easy?
It can be if you're confident in who you are and you know your worth, you know your value, then you're not worried about what society the deadlines and the criteria that society places on you because I'm confident enough to know that this is where I'm comfortable at, this is where I'm happy, and if I want more, I can get more, I'll strive for more, but I'm not going to do all those things just because society says that I have to have this by a certain age, or I should have this type of job, or I should be doing this because of who they say I am.
So learn to live within your means, you're saying.
Yeah, what makes you comfortable, what your means, not other people's means.
Okay, but how do you get to that status? Because I think that's where everyone is at. Like when you're coming from nothing and you achieve just a little bit, you always want more and you want more and you want more. And being as though our parents came from that from the very beginning, they always been striving to get more and get more and get more. Every little inch they get, they take, they go a yard because they see that. So now that you've been living this lifestyle for so long, how do you go back to just saying, forget it? Let me just find out who I am. Let's just be happy and just take one day at a time.
You figure those things out along the way if you're not so set on again society's guidelines and doing what you're comfortable. I'm okay right now with making this amount of money because my bills are paid and I'm comfortable. I'm not wanting for anything. I'm not in debt. And yes, I want more. Okay, and I'll take some steps to get more, but
Baby
I'm doing
steps.
those steps if that's what it takes. But I'm doing it based on me, not based on, oh, society says if you're not doing this within the next 5 years, then you're this, that, and the third. No, if it takes me X amount of years, then I'm going on my time. I think the pressure comes when we try to live based on other people's opinions and other people's criterias and guidelines.
Okay, so with social media being so hot of a topic, being the way that it is, like, don't you think it's extra hard for our children to actually find out who they are or live within their means when society say that you're so far behind? Because you could look at social any page on social media and everybody got the bling bling, the hottest cars, they going on the biggest vacations,
Mhm.
and everything is so glamorous
Mhm.
in our children eyes. So soon as they get that opportunity to get a credit card or come across it, let's go to the money that the government was just giving out a couple years ago. Like, people never had $10,000, $20,000 in their life, and how fast did they go through it? How many people you actually made a meaningful purchase with that money? How many
Right.
people actually set a career up for themselves with all that free money? You've seen them come out like vultures for the cars, the weed, the guns,
Mhm.
the fashion. They just made the higher society so much more money. Like, you got it and gave it right back to them just as
Right.
fast.
I mean,
So
I can't we can't go back and redo any of that or undo any of that. So that's where we have to really hit our younger generation now with understanding financial literacy and understanding that going
living
back
with
to social media is entertainment. It's not as glamorous. It's not always true. It's not always legit. We have to start giving our kids another outlet. We have to start making them understand that everything that is glitz and glamour is not always so. We have to help them understand who they are, know their self worth, so they can start tapping into their passions and their desires and start trying to think for themselves. We got to change their mindset. We got to change the narrative and make them understand like some of these things that are out here are not true. They're not so.
and that just don't go for our young children. That go for our young adults, our older adults. So, like, you need to start creating your goals. You need to start establishing yourself and living within your means. Achieve your goals one step at a time. Don't try to do it everything at one time, because you're only gonna fall in the pit that you can't get out of, because you're gonna have so much debt over your head. Learn to love yourself and do the things that make you happy, one time, one way, one time at a time.
One
Like,
step at
it's
a
not
time.
hard. It's really not hard. Stop putting pressure on your life that you really don't need. It's so much harder for you.
Stop worrying
Find
about what other people are thinking and stop worrying about being judged and start being more consumed with who you are and things that's going to help you and better yourself.
find happiness within. Subscribe,
Like
share,
and comment.
one time. Peace out.
Thanks, everybody.